Someone spent 11 days researching a brand name, tested it with focus groups, bought the logo, filed for an LLC, then found out the .com was parked by a domain squatter asking $42,000. 11 days. Gone. That's not a rare story. That's the default outcome when people use AI name generators the wrong way. And here's the specific workflow error that causes it. They're running the AI step and the domain check as two separate processes, sequentially. The AI gives you 50 names. You love 3 of them. Then you check availability, and all 3 are taken. Here's what that costs you, beyond the time. You lose momentum, you second guess the names that are available, and you often end up with something generic because the good ideas are gone. This video breaks down the exact workflow that fixes this, the tools that run both steps simultaneously, the real limitations they won't show you in their demo videos, and the one filter most founders skip that makes 80% of their name ideas legally unusable anyway. The tool we're starting with is Namelix. It's one of the few AI brand name generators that builds domain availability into the generation loop itself, not as an afterthought. Built by a small team out of Australia, it's been around since around 2018 and has quietly become the go-to for early-stage founders who need to move fast. Pricing is straightforward. The core generator is free. You get unlimited searches, basic filtering, and domain availability flags directly on each result. The paid tier, which runs about $9 a month, unlocks saved projects, team sharing, and the logo generation layer. For this workflow, the free tier handles the heavy lifting. Who it's for? Founders in pre-launch, solo consultants rebranding, product managers naming a new SaaS feature, and agency creatives who need to pressure test 10 name directions in under an hour. Who it's not for? Anyone naming a regulated product, a pharmaceutical, a financial product, or anything that needs trademark clearance before launch. Namelix does not do trademark search. That gap will matter. We'll come back to it. But there's a second tool in this workflow, and it actually does something Namelix doesn't. We'll get to that in the walkthrough. What's the biggest bottleneck in your naming process right now? Drop it in the comments. Is it the domain availability problem? Or is it something else? That shapes the rest of what we cover here. Here's the actual workflow, not the demo, the one that surfaces usable names instead of a list of taken .coms. Step 1. Input discipline. Most people type their industry or their product category and hit generate. That's the first error. Namelix's generation quality is directly tied to the specificity of your input. If you type project management software, you get generic, compound words and tech portmanteaus that sound like every SaaS product from 2015. Type instead, async team coordination for remote engineering teams. Watch what changes. The names that come back are more distinctive because the model has a narrower semantic field to pull from. You're not just getting synonyms for project and manage. You're getting names that carry connotation, words that imply speed, or signal, or flow. That distinction matters for brand equity later. Now look at the domain indicators. Green dot means .com available. Gray means taken. Yellow, in some results, means a variant is available. The key filter here, sort by .com available only, then filter by name length. Names under 10 characters perform measurably better in recall tests. There's a reason Google, Slack, and Notion are all short. That's not a coincidence. It's a naming principle backed by cognitive load research. What you're left with after those two filters is usually between 8 and 15 names from any given search. That's the short list you actually work with. Now, if this is already saving you time, that's what we do here every week. Real tool tests on real workflows. No paid placements. Ever. If you want the rest of the AI tool stack we use for early stage product development, that's what this channel breaks down. Here's where most single tool reviews stop. And that's where the workflow breaks down for about half of users. Because Namelix's domain check has a lag. It queries availability in real time, but it caches results for up to 48 hours. That means a name showing as available on Namelix might have been registered in the last 2 days. It's not a bug, it's a product trade-off. But it's one you need to know before you go build a brand around it. The fix is a parallel check, using lean domain search. Type any name Namelix surfaced, and lean domain search queries the Whois database live. No cache. If it's available in lean domain search, it's available now. That 2-second cross-check has saved more than one founder from building on a name that was just registered by someone else this week. The names that survive both checks, Namelix's filter and lean domain search's live query, are your actual candidates. Now, here's the limitation that 80% of tutorials skip entirely. And this is the part of the title we haven't paid off yet. The workflow error that makes 80% of your name ideas useless. It's not the domain check, it's the trademark layer. The United States Patent and Trademark Office runs a public database called TESS, the Trademark Electronic Search System. It's free, it's searchable, and almost nobody building a brand name workflow includes it. Here's why that matters. A name can have a .com available. A name can be short, memorable, and semantically precise, and still be legally unusable if someone has a live trademark in your goods and services class. Trademark conflicts don't require identical names. They require likelihood of confusion within the same class of goods or services. That's the legal standard under the Lanham Act, which is the federal statute governing trademark law in the United States. So a name that's 60% phonetically similar to a registered mark in your category can get you a cease and desist letter, even if your .com is clean, even if your LLC is filed, even if you've already run ads. The average trademark lawsuit settlement in a small business context runs between $15,000 and $40,000. That's not a hypothetical. That's the documented range in IP litigation data from the American Intellectual Property Law Association. So the full workflow has 3 steps, not 2. AI generation with specific inputs, domain verification with a live Whois query, trademark screening and tests, even a basic 5-minute search before you commit to anything. If TESS shows no live marks in your class for that name, you're not cleared. You're preliminary. For anything beyond a side project, a trademark attorney does a proper clearance search. But this basic screen eliminates the obvious conflicts before you've invested a single dollar in brand development. Here's the second angle nobody covers: social handle availability. A name with a clean .com and a clean TESS screen is still a problem if the Instagram handle and the LinkedIn company page are taken by a business in a different category, because now you've got brand confusion at the search layer, even if you're legally distinct. Users search for you, they find someone else. That's a customer acquisition leak that compounds over time. Namecheckr runs a simultaneous availability check across Instagram, X, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, and about 30 other platforms. Paste a name in, and within about 8 seconds, you see a grid of green and red across every platform. The names that survive Namelix, lean domain search, a basic TESS screen, and Namecheckr, that's your real shortlist. Usually 2 or 3 names, sometimes 1, sometimes 0, and you go back to generation. That's the 4-layer workflow. Most people run 1 layer and wonder why the names that feel right keep being unusable. One more edge case worth flagging: internationalization. If you're building a product with any global ambition, a name that's clean in the United States can be a registered trademark in the European Union or carry a negative meaning in another language. Namelix does not flag this. Neither does TESS. For global brands, you need WIPO's Global Brand Database, which is also free and publicly searchable. That's one more check that takes under 3 minutes and eliminates a category of problems before they become expensive. So, who buys into this workflow today? If you're in pre-launch, you're naming a product or a company, and you need to move faster than manual brainstorming allows, this 4-tool stack costs you nothing and takes about 25 minutes per name direction. That's the buy-in: 25 minutes versus 11 days and $42,000. Who waits? If you're still in idea validation before you've confirmed the market exists, naming is premature anyway. Get to problem solution fit first. Come back to this workflow when you're ready to commit. Who skips Namelix specifically? If you're in a regulated industry, pharmaceuticals, financial services, healthcare, you need a naming consultant and a trademark attorney before you touch an AI generator. The workflow here is for product and software founders who need to move fast in unregulated categories. It is not a substitute for legal counsel in high-stakes naming contexts. The better alternative for pure trademark-first workflows is a service like CoreSearch or Clarivate. Both are paid, both are enterprise-grade, and both combine AI generation with professional trademark screening in a single platform. They're not cheap. CoreSearch starts in the hundreds of dollars per search. But if you're naming a product going into a major retail chain, the math changes completely. We've got a full breakdown of AI logo generators already up. Specifically, how to go from this shortlist to a visual identity in under an hour, with tools that don't require a designer. That video's already up, linked in the description. And one question for you. Have you ever had a name you loved get killed by a domain or trademark conflict? Drop what happened in the comments. Those stories are exactly what shapes what we test next.